Mister Young and FRGN.
Kick to the gut!
Kick to the gut.
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 Kick to the gut. Kick to the gut.
Hey, kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut podcast.
Kick to the gut.
Your podcast sucks!
Yo, what's going on? It's that time of the week. It's Friday afternoon while you're munching down on your lunch. We're here to talk wrestling. It's Mister Young.
And it's foreign in the building. It is Fastlane weekend, bruh.
Ooh, bro, it seems like there's just so much news, so many things to consume right now. My head is in a little bit of a spin. And here's the thing, I've been on leave all this week. I feel like I can't even catch up because not just wrestling. Let's talk a little bit about the other like entertainment news stuff because we were just talking about this, okay?
Yeah, man.
Talking about Justice League. Okay, Zack Snyder cut. Now, if you don't know the backstory, now I feel like we're diving into a totally different podcast right now, the Nerdcast, but just indulge us.
We gotta get it out of the way, man.
Yeah, indulge us. Hey, The Shadow, what's up? Lavin, how you doing? Hello to you, by the way, if you're just joining us in the YouTube live chat right now, and if you're listening to this on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts, thank you for joining us here on the podcast. Okay, so we're talking about the Zack Snyder cut, which I haven't watched yet. You have foreign thoughts, initial thoughts.
Well, 4 hours is a marathon. But I mean, then again, we are wrestling fans. We've gone through 7 hours. So what is 4 hours, bro?
See,
what is 4 hours?
That's why they smart. WWE split into 2 days. Zack Snyder split into many episodes.
Yes. So I like that. So there's a lot of episode bookends in between like the 4 hours. So it kind of like I feel like I can take an intermission break, in between the scenes.
So it's a little bit like a mini series instead. And the thing is, now that Netflix and all these streaming services have things like that, like mini series, I think people are a little bit more open to like a 4-hour movie series.
Yeah. I mean, technically, our binge culture allows us to kind of, sit through the whole day and all that. But in terms of the movie itself, first thoughts, definitely much better than 2017 version.
Oh,
A lot of the characters that I felt were terribly presented in the first iteration is so much better. Like, I felt the heart of the movie was Cyborg. Like, Cyborg felt like a very, very important integral character.
Okay. Was it because they just had more time to dwell on the characters as opposed to, the problem with the original one was there was essentially no time. They tried to do an Avengers, but without all the Avengers solo movies. I mean, I think we could hit a spot of lag right there.
That's true. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So this movie is that, Cyborg was given a lot of time.
I think somebody didn't pay his internet bill today.
Internet.
Okay, it's okay. We got him.
No. Okay, Mr. Young, continue talking because right now I don't know what's wrong with internet.
Yeah. No, you sound fine.
Can you hear me, bro?
I can hear your beautiful voice. It's all good. I can see your face.
Yeah, the internet connection is unstable.
Okay. But no, only thing unstable here is our mental state.
Okay, but yeah. So the thing about Cyborg is he's well presented. Like, his story was told really, really well. And for fans of the Flash does something really, really awesome. Really, really awesome. That's all I have to say.
So it's a reshoot lah, as in, because a lot of the stuff was reshot, right? They didn't they didn't have a lot of the scenes in the original one. Zack Snyder went in and reshot a whole bunch of shit. Right?
Actually, on the contrary, bro. Actually, Zack Snyder, he actually completed an entire film. But then, when Joss Whedon came in, he's the one that scrapped it and reshot his own scenes.
Right, okay.
So a lot of what you see, right, is actually all the original footage that wasn't shown.
Right. But also, like, I'm pretty sure Zack Snyder reshot a bunch of scenes as well, including the Joker scene, which, it's not a spoiler, lah. It's been out there for quite a while already.
Yeah, that's the one of the few scenes that he reshot. It was a new scene. And also for people who really follow Justice League, a lot of characters introduced.
Oh, okay.
Or teased.
But here's my big problem with this then. Because we all know this is just a fan service thing, right? And there's no way there's going to be any follow-up. Warner Brothers, this whole DCEU hasn't had the success that the Marvel Cinematic Universe has had because A, they have Disney, B, they have a proper guiding light like a Kevin Feige to, guide the entire journey. It's been all over the map. So to be honest, like all these teasers, it's like, you go on a date, but the relationship leads nowhere. You know it, and that's the worst part. With the Marvel movies, they tease you, something is coming, and then the payoff comes in the next movie, so you want to watch the next movie, right? But with DC's, they tease, evaporate. It's a little bit like WWE storytelling sometimes, or AEW storytelling.
Yes, indeed. That is an amazing segue into our Fastlane preview.
That's right. Okay. Before we jump into Fastlane, though, Eric Bischoff, Hall of Fame, deserve it?
Of course, for sure.
Look at that handsome fella, by the way. Look at that handsome man.
Look at that Ken doll.
So handsome. He will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame for this year.
Well deserved, man. I feel like he is the best general manager we've ever had. Like his first run as a Raw GM, that first 3 years of Raw, I think that made Raw really, really exciting.
Okay.
And he was a perfect, I would say, called a heel villain manager.
Yes. Yeah, he definitely was. So, okay. I feel like we're just kind of brushing it aside, poor thing, because we have so many things to talk about. But it's definitely an exciting development for the Hall of Fame. And yeah, this year's WrestleMania week is going to be so busy, right? Do you want to jump straight into Fastlane, or do you want to talk about what happened on AEW as well?
I mean, we can clear a bit of like the AEW and NXT news.
To get the crap out of the way. Not NXT. NXT is always good stuff. To be fair, I haven't watched NXT, so I don't know what happened this week.
Okay, let's talk about AEW. Okay, let's talk about the main event. I feel and sometimes sometimes we shit when it's bad, and then we give credit when it's good, right? So this is the time that I will give credit to Thunder Rosa and
I want to be very clear on this. We need to give credit to Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for a really good match.
Yes.
Like they put themselves through a lot of shit. I wouldn't say it's a very technical match, but I mean it's a hardcore match. What do you want, right? They bladed on TV. My problem with this, do you think this is the blow-off of an epic feud? Like seriously, how many times have they fought? This is my big problem with AEW. And it seems to be this recurring problem where they like jump the gun like within a few weeks or within just a few meetings. They're like, all right, straight away go into hardcore match. And then next week is exploding ring match. Like, guys, slow it down.
Well, from the commentary, according to the commentary and Tony Khan, somehow it's been a four-month rivalry, which I have no idea about.
Yeah, no, I mean they've had random run-ins. You know what I mean?
They haven't had like a one match and then like another match, and then like another match, and then it blows off into that. Yeah, so in that approach, I guess, yeah, that's true. That's like fairly true.
You know when they announce, lights out match, I'm like, well, the first thing that came to my mind was that escalated quickly.
Oh, that was like all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, like what? Like, and they seem to keep doing that to, I don't know, pop a rating or to like show NXT. I don't know if that's a mentality, but I feel like it might be. Let's just do something outrageous to outshine NXT.
Yeah, I mean that is not untrue. But if I'm looking at the match in itself, right? The reason how we got to the match, that is debatable for sure.
Yeah.
But the match itself, I would like to think that this is actually Britt Baker's Randy Orton moment. Randy Orton and Cactus Jack.
Sure.
His backlash match.
Yeah.
I felt like we know that Britt Baker is a great character, but I think this is the first time like she's shown that she's a tough badass woman.
Yeah.
And I think short of probably Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair when they had their last women standing match at Evolution, which was all kinds of violent as well. I think this is the first like really hard hitting women's match where I felt I squirmed lah.
Right. I mean, the blading thing though, like, was it too much? Was it necessary? Are they trying to like do a Becky Lynch? Remember when Becky Lynch accidentally got blood the hard way and then it sort of spun out into her whole like Becky badass character, right? So because you don't see women bleed very often at all. So this was actually quite like quote unquote revolutionary in that sense.
I think is there some sort of ruling in WWE where they can't blade? Obviously they can't blade, but they can't make the women's match be too violent.
Yeah, I think it seems so. Well, I mean, in general, like most WWE matches aren't violent. It's to A, protect the athletes, and B, you're desensitizing. Like I said, it's that whole desensitizing to the crazy matches that they used to do in the Attitude Era. And I'm sure they got to that point where they're like, oh shit, where do we go from here? Exploding arena match. This is what I feel the biggest problem is with AEW right now. They are really catering too hard to the crazies, like the bloodthirsties, and they are just hitting that ceiling over and over again. Like, okay, Lord, this feud literally is done. What else can you do in this feud? Pull out my teeth match.
True. I think they probably have done that.
Actually, you know what?
Okay,
Dr. Britt Baker should make that her gimmick, like a tooth extraction match. I mean, WWE did an eyeball extraction match.
Oh, holy crap.
By the way,
my
this
God,
Shadow, what's up? You say they need to go to a chiropractor, referring to Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker for carrying AEW on their backs for the week.
Hey, you know what? They are the two legitimately best female talents in AEW. I mean, they don't have a lot, but the ones that they do, like when they're good, they're really, really good. So it's kind of, I get it's great that they set the precedent. It's in the hopes that the rest of the female division step up, because I've seen a lot of tweets from the other AEW female wrestlers who hyping it up, like, oh my god, that was an amazing match and all that. So
okay, but hold on, is Thunder Rosa signed to All Elite Wrestling, or she's still technically NWA? Yeah.
I don't know whether she's an exclusive NWA talent or like she's an NWA talent like freelancing in AEW. But what I found out is that apparently NWA has a pay-per-view this weekend.
What?
And Thunder Rosa is defending her championship there. So I don't know whether this is part of their cross promotion that they're doing.
Bro,
seems like it.
It makes a lot of sense to put her over big in a match that will get a lot of eyeballs, and then by the way, we has pay-per-view. So now this makes a lot of sense to me already. It makes a lot of sense, but it doesn't help AEW's long-term storytelling. It does not. Like I said,
it only helps if Thunder Rosa eventually signs on to AEW.
Yeah.
Right?
But then still, like, they've already had this brutal lights out match. So I don't know. Maybe they, to be honest, I feel like they could have just done a regular no DQ match and not go overboard. But whatever, be that as it may. Hey, best booker of 2020 things. Tony Khan knows best. Let's talk about the other thing that came out of Dynamite that everyone's excited about. I keep forgetting their title. Oh, this is not good. It starts with a P. Is it the Pinnacle? The Precipice? The pineapple?
The pineapple, bro. The pineapple.
Freaking hell. See, oh my god. So, all right.
Bro, you got it right the first time, bro.
Oh, the precipice? No, the principle?
The precipitation.
A precipitation. Or perspiration. God, too many P words. It's too confusing. Okay, we're talking about the Pinnacle. I guess they're trying to call themselves the pinnacle of sports entertainment.
I guess so. I mean, first and foremost, first impressions on the name. It might become a meme. It seems like it's gonna become a meme going forward. But the name does describe the team. They want to be the pinnacle at the top.
Yeah,
all I
can think of is Tiong Bahru Pinnacle at Duxton now. That's a Singapore thing.
Pinnacle at Duxton.
Yeah, but MJF with Sean Spears, Tully. I mean, it really has the Four Horsemen vibes, which fits and everything. And he's obviously the mouthpiece of the entire group, which works for him, lah.
Yeah. Anyone in a group that doesn't sort of fit in or looks a bit weird?
Sean Spears.
Doesn't Sean Spears remind you of the Mark Jindrak of Evolution?
Yes, he reminds me of the X-Pac of DX. Like the okay lah, we let you in because you are a friend, you are our lackey.
I mean, he will probably be like the Barry Windham, like like contest for the secondary titles. Because I think they already have Wardlow, bro.
That's
like, Wardlow, I think is a man.
Wardlow is a man. Wow, that's nice. Wardlow is already the guy who's gonna go for the secondary title, MJF for the main title, and the tag team. So what is this Sean Spears gonna do?
The veteran voice.
No, that's Tully Blanchard.
Yeah lah, but I guess they need to somehow show on Sean Spears there lah. Give him chance lah.
Hey, poor thing, no, Sean Spears.
But you're right lah. He reminds me of he's just the guy.
Yeah.
He's probably like the Booker T in NWO. Like, what the hell is he doing there?
Yeah, he could have done so much better by himself if the best booker of 2020 would figure something out for him.
But as a team, I actually really like the look of it. Like, they measure up well against Inner Circle.
Yeah.
Obviously, this turns Inner Circle de facto face.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
And it's gonna be a fun, like faction war, which we haven't seen a lot of from WWE. So if that was what you love from the Attitude Era, Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, the Principal. Oh my God, this is gonna be a thing. That's actually exciting.
Yeah, my favorite years in Attitude Era is like when they had, Nation Domination fighting against DX, or they had the Canadian, the Bret Hart's Hart Dynasty, Hart Foundation. Yeah, facing against Stone Cold's team. Yeah, I love it. Like everyone's kind of like associated with each other. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Not everyone has like their buddies, and it's cool. But best Booker, Booker T. Best Booker ain't going away. No,
that's my best Booker.
Yeah, and then you got your Dark Order who's kind of hanging around there. You got Death Triangle. You got Murder Rectangle. You got Merciless Octagon. Whatever shit.
They should. I think they really need to debut a trios title. It seems like they can.
Yeah. Then it'll be just like a mega jobber title, and you know who's not gonna get that title? Sean Spears, because he apparently won't win anything. Anyway,
definitely they will give it to the Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Marco Stunt.
Oh my! Marco Stunt was in the match that he got destroyed in, right? Like I remember looking at that match, I stopped paying attention. I was like, this is crap. I can't. He's a child.
Yeah, this was weeks ago, was it?
No, this week, Matt Hardy pinned a boy.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even watch that match.
Yeah. No,
Probably was in the background.
Yeah, I was watching it and I like immediately tuned out. Like I get the point. Like they are supposed to push Matt Hardy like this sleazy, like he'll pin a small boy, like to give him heat. But as I was watching, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like I just don't buy it. And then Private Party are there, being athletic, being amazingly talented. You know what? I dare say, Matt Hardy is holding them back.
Well, like I've already talked about in the previous episode, like I'm not a fan of this Matt Hardy's gimmick, this big money Matt, because I don't even think he's a rich guy. Like he's like a rancher, some sort of hilly-billy kind of, like in real life that's him, right?
Hilly-billy, walao. Okay lah. I mean, the commentators even said
Carolina.
North Carolina. Even the commentators said like, well, if you got to be rich to have a compound, because the Hardys are famous for the Hardy compound, right?
Yeah, maybe they are like country rich, bro. Like they own land.
Like what? Cameron Grimes. I'm Cameron Grimes.
Yeah, I think Cameron Grimes can do the big money Matt gimmick better than big money Matt.
I'm going to the moon. All right, let's table AEW. Not much else to talk about. Once again, a very messy episode. It was like Lance Archer turned heel. I don't know. He face heel, face heel. Like I don't give a shit. Brian Cage teasing face. Like what? Okay.
Sometimes, okay, for us, like we really talk about like Fight TV is accessible for us, so it makes sense for us to watch AEW first and then like wait for the next day to watch NXT on the network. So it's kind of almost become like a routine thing for us just to at least eyeball the product. But for me, like I said, there's not a lot of reason to tune in to AEW unless like you are legit hardcore fans of everyone. Like for example, this main event for me personally was a breath of fresh air, because like, okay, it wasn't two people that I necessarily like am a wholehearted big fans of, but just the way it was laid out, like the kind of effort, the kind of passion that they fight. Like like how you can watch a New Japan match and you're not really fans of them, but then you see like, oh, the way they fight, some kind of the risk they take. It's like, oh damn, this is actually pretty entertaining to watch. So I can appreciate that. But now it's I think it's the issue with weekly episodic TVs. They are trying to figure it out. They haven't gotten the formula right just yet.
Well, it's okay. They have the best booker of 2020. They will figure it out. Let's move on to WWE Fastlane. Okay, so are you excited for this pay-per-view? To be honest, it seems like this is an extra show they shoehorn in between WrestleMania. Like, okay, there are certain matches that will have huge implications for WrestleMania, but by and large, it's like, it's just another plot device lah,
Bro, you know why it's so like unnecessary for Fastlane, in my opinion? We are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania, man. True. What can they do to change like this, the script, like the face of WrestleMania and the booking,
Okay, here's the thing with Fastlane as well, right? It is, I believe, the first time they're debuting on Peacock. So I'm going to have to assume that they want to do something really special to get eyeballs hooked. Because you know what it is, right? From a business perspective, you have to, when you're debuting on like a platform, your first episode has to be amazing just to catch people. So I actually, just based on that and nothing else, not the storyline stuff, but based on that, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be a pay-per-view that sells WrestleMania.
So are you trying to say there might be a weird swerve or something going on?
But I mean, if you're looking at the matchups, there are some like attraction weird matches. For example, let's just dive into the card, okay? And probably the most fook booking, but it makes sense. Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton in an intergender match.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Either Alexa Bliss is gonna get destroyed, or Randy Orton is just gonna be made a fool of.
Can you imagine, like, you know, Alexa has played the whole like how the Fiend does it, right? He can block everything, all of a sudden got superpowers. Can you imagine if Alexa does that to Randy Orton and like he punches her but she no sell, punch no sell?
How does that make Randy Orton look though?
Like a clown lah.
Yeah. Okay, but you know what? I really enjoyed, like, the sadistic part of me really enjoyed Randy Orton RKOing Alexa Bliss. So, and I mean, she's a wrestler. You know, she can take this bumps. Yeah. It's not that she can't.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, the whole idea of an intergender match, if you are a proper wrestling fan, you know the ins and outs of it. Actually, they should be totally fine. Because it's two people helping each other make the move look devastating. You're not actually... the only people that have problems with it is this goes all the way back to, you are promoting the violence against women. But in actual fact, the reality of it is they are looking out for each other and doing everything safely. But, perception versus reality lah.
Do you know, like, when I watch Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss, they interact, right? The height difference, it's really like a dad talking to a child, you know. It's not as if like she's a grown-ass woman. If she looks like, I don't know, like Beth Phoenix or what, like I can, like when they measure up, it looks possible that they can have a match. But Alexa Bliss, I mean, she's athletic, but come on, Randy Orton towers over her, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously the play here is that a certain Fiend will make his return. That's what they're teasing, obviously, right?
Yeah. Talk about a cock tease, man. It's been months.
Oh, well, I mean, hey, if he's going to make his return, it'll be here. And then what, we're going to see Fiend versus Randy on WrestleMania?
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, I think, isn't that like kind of a guaranteed, assured thing? Yeah. But bro, do you think the Fiend will come back with a new, costume design, a new face mask change? Is he going to be all burned?
Actually,
you know mascara?
What? He come back as Kane.
Oh my god, yeah.
The Kane comes
all
back.
burned up.
Yeah. Well, I think so. You know why? From a business standpoint, that means new masks, new merch to sell.
They should lah. I mean, he's been away long enough for it to be a reinvention, you know.
Yeah. Let me give a shout out to referee Ryan right now. What's up, Irvin? How you doing, man? Thanks for dropping by the chat over there on the live stream on YouTube. Irvin says it depends on how serious you want the sport to look. It's better to have some reality. So yeah, as in Randy Orton goes in and destroys Alexa, I guess. Or before, I mean, let's face it, this could just be a complete schmoz, as in no match takes place, the whole ring explodes in fire. You know what'd be funny? If they actually make the ring explode and they be like,
an exploding match.
This is how you do it, AEW. Like they make the ring explode and then the Fiend shows up and destroys Randy Orton. And then Randy Orton got black tar coming out of his mouth and all that shit.
Yeah, wasn't the Inferno match that they have, the Firefly Inferno, the explosion, wasn't it like way more impressive?
Yeah, dude. Okay, we've gone through this already. If you missed last week's episode, go back and listen to us talk for about 45 minutes on how shit the AEW's exploding ring match was. But that aside, okay, Fiend coming back, guaranteed, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll bet my hair on this. I will shave my hair again if he doesn't appear.
Alamak, you will shave your head no matter what anyway. It's just a trip down to the barber.
That was my plan.
Alamak. So, okay, I don't see this going any other way other than Fiend comes back and destroys Randy Orton, setting up their WrestleMania match. I mean, it could be Randy Orton destroying Alexa Bliss and then the Fiend teases a comeback at WrestleMania. That could be the other possibility.
Randy Orton literally burns Alexa Bliss to the ground.
Okay, I don't know about burn lah. Maybe just beat her in the ring lah. 1, 2, 3 lah. Huh?
Yeah. Okay, fair, fine.
A
Yeah,
bit
but
much.
it has to lead to the Finn returning. I mean, that would be a great, noteworthy thing to happen on Fastlane, on Peacock.
Yeah. But like I said, I don't know if they are ready to have this intergender thing. So I'm actually looking at this going, okay, it's more likely going to be a schmoz. Maybe Alexa takes one shot, that's it. One RKO, that's it. But she's already taken an RKO, so.
Yeah, there needs to be some sort of violence. There needs to be some sort of physical interaction between both of them. And I don't mean touching. I mean like legit.
Randy Orton comes out with a flamethrower. Okay.
You know the meme that they a couple of weeks ago when Randy Orton said in his promo, like, the reason I'm distracted is because of Alexa Bliss. And then all the simps in the comments is like, bro, you're not the only one distracted.
Irvin brings up an interesting question. Could Alexa turn on the Fiend and join Randy Orton?
Randy and Alexa couples.
I don't see
goals.
it. I don't see it.
Nah, I don't see it. I think she's too short, bro.
Yeah. What the hell? Nothing to do with height, please. Okay. Be that as it may, though, I think it'll be one of the highlights of the entire pay-per-view. Let's move on. Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Okay, this is the blow-off, the final blow-off after they are, back and forth.
I mean, I like that they're having a blow-off on pay-per-view. But I do feel kind of sorry for Sheamus because I don't know where does this lead. Where does Sheamus go after this? I mean, obviously he's gonna lose, right? Yeah, but and I think you would admit as well, Sheamus is having like the best run in his career in terms of matches, in terms of his believability. Like, I can see him as a contender now.
Bro, that's why I've been pushing for a triple threat or fatal four-way for the WrestleMania main event for Lashley's title. Drew, Sheamus, Lashley, Miz. But of course, we know Miz is going to be busy elsewhere.
Miz, if nothing else, Miz is the one that has...
Hey, please, Miz is bulletproof to me at this point. See, there you are, not giving Miz his credit, man. Come on.
No, I mean, I'm not. It's not. I'm not giving him his credit. I'm just saying WWE has really plans for him to, fight my favorite Latino artist of the year according to the Grammys.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, that mainstream rap, bro. But yeah, Miz is definitely heading towards a clash with Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, which is good for Damian Priest. But I'm saying that the Miz as a main event, in terms of a main event run, this is not the right time of the year for him to have a main event run.
No, like, he doesn't. First of all, he doesn't need to have a main event run anymore. He was essentially just a transition to past the transitionary champion. Yeah. We all know that, and he did it perfectly well. So okay, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Obviously, Drew wins. What? To what end? He beats up Sheamus. They hug it out. They become friends again.
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways that Sheamus can go into this. So if him and Sheamus become friends once more, Sheamus will be in his corner against. I mean, obviously it's already been announced. Lashley and Drew McIntyre is like a one-on-one match, right?
Yeah.
To win back the friendship, with Sheamus, that could be one thing. Or Sheamus could contend for a secondary title. I think Sheamus versus Riddle sounds an interesting prospect.
Okay. Yeah, but Sheamus doesn't need that. And I would actually, now that you've mentioned it, Sheamus in the corner of Drew. You know how they've had this, like, they are friends, but friends who fight, and after they fight, they have a few pints and they're good again. That whole European style. You know what I mean? Yeah. So maybe this could be their big blow-off fight, and then they freaking sit in the middle of the ring, broken down, they look at each other, they laugh, and they hug, and that's it. I think that would be a great end to that storyline.
Yeah, they could form an alliance.
Yeah.
Post WrestleMania, maybe Lashley still retains. I mean, this is early booking for WrestleMania. But if Lashley retains, and then they do what Moxley and Kingston is doing at AEW, they become buddies again .
Oh, actually,
they become some sort of alliance.
Actually, you just brought up something I completely forgot about. Moxley and Eddie Kingston make a pretty cool tag team. They could actually, I see them as tag team champions. Like, that is a great spot for Jon Moxley and Eddie Kingston.
You know why?
Does it sound like I'm swanning Jon Moxley? Because I kind of am. I kind of am.
Yeah,
okay.
Maybe yes. It's kind of obvious you are, but hey, if I want to give credit, Jon Moxley has always been a good tag team wrestler with the Shield.
And Eddie Kingston and him, they have a really good chemistry when they talk together. So I actually want to listen to their interviews versus like I don't really care if it's just John Moxley by himself. Anyway, sorry for the sidetrack.
No worries. Hey, do you remember this team back in ECW? I can't remember what they are called, but it's like they all dress up in like hockey jerseys, and then it's like NWA a bit like that. I can't remember who they were. But basically the way they cut promos, the way they talk is like very early 90s gangster style, like Brooklyn from the hood.
Yeah. So that's them, and that's exactly who they are. And because Eddie Kingston is so good on the mic, I think he elevates Moxley as well, who I don't think is that great on the mic. I've never found him compelling, to say the least. So as a tag team, they're good. They should go and beat the shit out of the Young Bucks.
We didn't even bring up that they had a match with the Good Brothers in AEW this past week.
It was not memorable. Nothing It was
formulaic, for sure.
Anyway,
but you still it's a good point. They do look good as a tag team.
Public Enemy, by the way. Irvin says that was the team you were thinking about. Yeah.
Thanks, Irvin.
Yeah,
yes, Public Enemy.
Let's get back to McIntyre versus Sheamus. Div Royalty, what's up? Div Royalty says,
hello.
Isn't that what happened to Cesaro and Sheamus? Like, it's like they got together after a bar fight. So yeah, there you go. They can rehash that.
Well, poor thing. Sheamus just broke out into a single star, now go back into a loop. Sheamus deserves a title. I think he will get a title run this year. I wouldn't be surprised.
US title run? Alright, so that means Sheamus Riddle. Interestingly enough, is there a Riddle match? No, right? No. There's no Riddle match right now.
Well, I mean, he already fought Mustafa.
Yes. Oh, we got a bit of lag right now.
Mufasa.
Let's move on then to the Intercontinental Championship.
Yep.
It's Big E versus Apollo Crews, who is, Nigerian now. It's like the opposite of what happened with Kofi Kingston. Hey. Okay, we're having a bit of lag issues again.
Yeah.
Bro, you alright?
Continue talking, please.
Okay, so someone's internet connection is doing a big yeet.
Yeah, just continue talking
right now. So yeah, we are talking about Big E versus Apollo, who apparently is Nigerian now. And like I said, it's like the reverse of what happened with Kofi Kingston. You guys remember Kofi Kingston when he came in? He was, "Hey, I'm Kofi, man." He's like Jamaican, and then all of a sudden, like, he became super American and he just dropped the accent completely. So yeah, Apollo Crews went the tumbalik way, the opposite way. You know what I mean? Hey, referee Ryan.
Yeah.
Okay, so did I think what happened was your video quality got lowered.
So allow me to still be able to stream, I think.
Yeah, and talk, but you seem a little bit blurry. It's fine. Can't see your handsome face in HD, but it's all right. Irvin says heel version of Kamaru Usman. Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. The Nigerian nightmare.
Nigerian nightmare. It's funny that he comes out with like two like guards dressed up in like army uniform and everything. So, I mean, like we've said before, this is the most character that Apollo has displayed in his entire career. So I'm actually interested to see where this goes. Do you think Apollo takes the title away from Big E?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think it will give him a good run for his money. And I won't be surprised if Apollo wins it post WrestleMania. I mean, it seems like the rivalry will last through WrestleMania. Hey, bro, but really, if Apollo goes into WrestleMania and fights Big E again, right, he needs to have some sort of like big ass Wakanda entrance, bro.
What the hell? And have guards come out with him with those, spears or whatever.
I mean,
right?
It will be a great tribute, to our dearly departed Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
But it's so interesting that he is a villain, but he talks like Black Panther, but he's kind of like channeling Killmonger.
Yeah, right. So it's like a mix lah. So I mean, it's original lah, So it's not ripping off the Black Panther character altogether. I like where this is going, but also it's not a hot feud to me. Like I know Apollo has done some dastardly things like throw the steps on Big E and stuff like that, but for whatever reason, I you know what I mean? It's like it's alright lah, okay lah. It's a mid-card feud lah. It doesn't feel like a whoa, it's going out of control feud.
And another thing about Apollo is the way he always has fought, right? His style is very much like a babyface cruiserweight, you know, with all the high flying, all the athleticism. So I'm just curious, has it really changed that much in terms of his style? Has his style adapted to his new character?
I don't know. I mean, we'll see in this match. I think this match will tell a lot. I hope that he doesn't do like, you know, whatever his standing moonsaults and shit like that, and just does heel power and cheating moves. Because okay, to be fair, Big E is a powerhouse as well. So technically, Apollo shouldn't be trying to outpower Big E. He should be trying to be sneaky.
His heel finisher is, I don't know whether it's a new one, but he's been adopting the angle slam, right, recently?
Yeah. Why angle slam though?
Maybe it should be the Nigerian slam.
The Nigerian slam.
He just changed the name.
Face the steel. Yeah, I actually the commentators haven't mentioned what the name is for some reason. So actually, is it a finisher or is it just a regular move? Because I don't think he's pinned with it.
But he ends the match with it though. The last time I can't remember his actual finisher.
Right.
To be honest.
It was a high flying move. It was a top rope move.
Yeah, but I mean that's one of the things that makes him unique though. Like he's always been a cruiserweight who can, who looks like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
So if there's a way to like pay homage, because I like when Roman Reigns went heel, he straight away adopted the
guillotine,
the front face guillotine.
Yeah.
So that's such a heel thing to do. So it'll be interesting to see how people adapt.
Yeah, for sure. All right, talking about Roman Reigns, here we go then. Universal Championship. Roman Reigns. Oh, actually, I skipped a match. Let's talk about the Roman Reigns match last, actually. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler with Reginald versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Okay,
Okay, can I be honest?
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I am not enjoying the feud between Bianca and Sasha. I mean, there's no feud to speak of. It's non-existent.
It's like they're friendly, but and this is gonna be a weird one because is Sasha Banks gonna turn heel on Bianca again for the 10 millionth time? Sasha Banks turns heel. You know?
Yeah, it's such an easy story that they could have just told, like two highly competitive alpha women. They want to see who's the best. They've done the men The Rock versus Stone Cold. See who's the best.
Yeah.
You know? Why can't they just lean into their backgrounds, do all these like vignettes, like promo packages, talking about their history, talking about
that's because
they never really talk about Bianca Belair winning the Royal Rumble anymore.
Yeah. No, that's because they don't have a lot of history. That's the problem here. So I don't know what this is like. Maybe they will blow up at each other during the tag team title match and not win, and then this will spark off their proper rivalry. But yeah, they technically already have a rivalry. Bianca chose Banks, and that's their reason to fight.
Yeah, and I wish they lean into their qualities. I guess if they don't have a history shared, with them is fine. But like their own specific history, like how I learned so much about Bianca from watching her documentary, her 24, where she's a CrossFit athlete. When she joined the WWE, she doesn't even know anything about the sport. She picked it up like a natural because she's just that damn good, you know. I think all those things are compelling things, you know. And then versus someone like Sasha Banks, who is like a lifelong fan, that dynamic could have been a great way for them to have conflict. I grew up always wanting to be in this business. You just fell into it. You know?
Yeah. So okay, are they going for and I wouldn't put this past WWE. Tag team champions facing each other at WrestleMania for the women's title. You know, like WWE loves to come up with these stories like that.
Like, I mean, there has been a precedent.
Yeah.
When Shawn Michaels and John Cena face off for their championship, they were tag team champions.
Yeah. So they just take the titles of Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, who, I mean, I don't think they have anything to do at WrestleMania, to be honest. Or maybe they can have night one, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair again. And then night two, Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair.
I don't think they will do that. But I think that hopefully, I don't know what the hell is wrong with Reginald, but he's been way too much, presented in this feud. So I hope that once he causes some sort of dissension between like Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler or whatever it is, and then they kind of have their own thing going on.
Yeah.
And then Sasha and Bianca can just focus on themselves.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed this past week's Raw. Remember when Asuka had a match with Shayna?
Yeah.
And it got kind of violent.
Well, we know
Shayna versus Asuka match, does appeal to me.
they've had a series of epic matches on NXT, right? So they're no strangers to each other. Irvin says, by the way, nobody is an underdog in the Belair Banks feud. Exactly. Divaralty says they could have a great competitive story without the distraction of Reginald. And what's up, Agent 707? How you doing? Welcome to the podcast. He says, or she, what's up? Well, what's up to you? Thank you so much for dropping by. So, yes, I agree. And okay, the interesting thing I see here with Reginald is, you know how Shayna Baszler has been playing this whole like, this guy, why are you doing, right? Do you think this could be the impetus to break up Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax finally and have Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler face off at WrestleMania, thus giving them a match? Meanwhile, Sasha and Bianca can do their whole, we are tag team champions, but we're going to fight each other for the women's title.
Yeah, it seems like they're leaning towards Reginald being adopted kind of to be part of Nia Jax's presentation.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Put both of those two unlikable people together. I mean, it would be great heat.
But what happened to Reginald and Carmella? Like, Carmella's storyline completely just dropped, and then like,
Bro, Carmella fired him already, bro, because he's like too much giving the side eye towards Sasha Banks.
yeah, and then now he's with Nia Jax. But like, why did they end that association so fast? Was Corey Graves upset?
I don't know. Oh, but I love the YouTube comments on Reginald. They say like Reginald is basically all of the wrestling simps.
Oh my
come to
god!
life.
Yes, that's true. That is true, huh? Okay. Yeah, I'm not so high up on this match, to be honest, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sure on SmackDown they're gonna add an extra match, or do you think that this is it? This is gonna be a 2.5 hour pay-per-view? And
Nah, they gotta add at least 1 or 2 more matches.
You think so?
I mean, Riddle definitely I think should even fight Mustafa Ali one more time as a blow off.
yeah.
The tag team champions just changed hands.
Yes.
We didn't mention about that.
Well, this one is obviously setting up to WrestleMania, so I don't see we'll see it at Fastlane. So yeah, the New Day versus Omos and AJ. Is this Omos's coming out party?
Yeah, it was very interesting, I thought AJ Styles was gonna do something bigger. We all thought he's gonna like fight a Triple H or blah blah blah. I felt like this sudden challenge came out of nowhere. Suddenly Omos and AJ Styles want to challenge for the title. Came out of nowhere.
Well,
I thought there was gonna be at least one more blow off match between Street Profits, New Day and Business.
Okay,
so there could be a Fastlane match.
It's very clear that the two fellas in the Hurt Business, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander, they're just like, okay, like you're here. You're part of the Hurt Business. We try to elevate you. You're not getting over, but you're here. So them losing is absolutely no surprise. The New Day are a proven commodity. People will cheer or boo them, whatever, right? And I feel like this looks like something like AJ was like, oh, yeah, I would love to work with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. So there you go. And Omos is going to come out and just dominate, lor.
Bro, what if Omos is like a legit killer? What if he's like better than Shaq? I mean, obviously he'll be better than Shaq, hopefully.
Yeah, he's proper
but
wrestler.
Like, he has the height. If he's a guy of that,
oh my
I
gosh,
think he will be quite a legitimate. He could be a legitimate presence in WWE going forward.
I think so. And obviously they're doing the whole cocky, tiny heel and the big bodyguard story that's been done ad nauseum. Shawn Michaels Sid Justice, Shawn Michaels Diesel. Them winning the titles at WrestleMania would make sense to me. So they have that path going forward. Okay, let's move on to the main event of Fastlane now. Roman Reigns, the champ, versus Daniel Bryan. Head of the table versus Daniel Bryan. Now, the interesting thing here is on SmackDown, they will do a Edge versus Jey Uso match. The winner of that match will become the special guest enforcer. I mean, does Jey Uso really have a chance of beating Edge on SmackDown?
Nah.
Let's be real, okay?
Come on, no. But
main,
I think with what
main
Uso
event
has done this year, right? And all the momentum he's built for him, so I think he deserves a good spot in WrestleMania. I don't know what though.
Bro, his good spot will be right next to Roman Reigns. That will be the spot. Also, your screen just froze. And you look very hilarious.
Bro, my face looks terrible. Yeah, I know. I just like I look like a damn steam like that.
Oh my god! Someone please screenshot that and send that to us. But anyway, yeah. So obviously it's gonna be Edge, right? It's not gonna be Jey Uso being the special guest enforcer. That would make zero sense.
Yeah. Hey, but right, don't you find that Daniel Bryan is getting more compelling? I feel like he is more compelling with Roman Reigns in terms of like a matchup in WrestleMania. I just don't know. Suddenly it feels like the way Daniel Bryan has been presenting himself, he is making himself much more entertaining as a prospect to fight Roman Reigns.
That's credit to him because he knows how to sell. He knows how to tell that story, you know, of him being like wanting that moment at WrestleMania, blah blah blah, and it's not about disrespect to Edge, but and like how he told it on SmackDown. And that is a credit to Daniel Bryan. And he's making this whole thing with Roman Reigns right now work. There is no way in hell he's going to beat Roman Reigns, right?
Yeah, but do you think WWE will see, you know, the kind of traction that he's been getting and might even insert him and make it a triple threat match?
Ooh, swerve us, huh? Or like have Daniel Bryan be the winner going into WrestleMania. So he's the champ. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan versus Edge. Triple threat.
Bro, you know what? I would dare say, right? That would turn Daniel Bryan heel. People will be outraged if that happens.
Oh shit, are you serious?
The irony, right? If Daniel Bryan wins against Roman Reigns, everyone will say, why you all never keep the title on Roman Reigns until WrestleMania? Why you take him off so soon? Blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure. But then again, Peacock, you know, is the first ever pay-per-view on Peacock. They might want to do something drastic.
Yeah, that's shocking, yeah. Bring back
that
the
could
whole...
be a shocking thing. Daniel Bryan winning.
Yes movement thing. I don't know. Like, okay, if Roman Reigns wins this and then he goes on to WrestleMania and wins WrestleMania again, right? It's like, wow, this is a dominant AF reign. I don't know if they want to end WrestleMania on that sort of a note, on a heel win. And Daniel Bryan, now that he has this really compelling story, him winning.
Let me see.
Ooh, Irvin brings up a very good point. Triple H versus HBK versus Benoit dynamic. Triple threat.
So like, Edge is the Chris Benoit in this situation where he's kind of shoehorned into the story.
No. Daniel Bryan is the Benoit. He was the one who was shoehorned in the story because Triple H versus HBK was the main feud, right? So Roman Reigns versus... Actually, now that you brought that up, Irvin, I freaking like that idea. I like it so much.
Yeah, you know what? A triple threat will be a swerve.
Yeah.
But it's a good kind of swerve. Like, you know why? Okay, let's look at it logistically, right? What if WWE just wants to ensure that they got someone else to take the pin, to keep Edge strong, or they got someone to take care of Edge in the ring. So now there's 3 people. Edge can rest a bit more. The pressure of doing a main event match could be too great, you know, for a guy who has been out for almost 10 years. I
mean, okay lah. To be fair, we've seen him go in the ring. He can go. He definitely still has it. But I see what you mean. To have someone else and who's, you know, known to be a very good, smart, safe, technical worker is definitely a plus. Or how about this? Fatal 4-way. Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Edge, and main event Jey Uso.
Hey. No lah, cannot lah. Later than how Kevin Owens said, Kevin Owens like, hey bro, I also was in the main event.
Oh yeah, why that's true. That's true. Diff Royalty says she'd rather see Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. Actually, you know what? Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan puts Jey Uso over at WrestleMania.
Or Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso. Okay, hear me out. So Daniel Bryan loses his shot, right? At Fastlane, but he asked for one more match.
And
then and then probably, you know, what's his name? Adam Cole. What's the GM? Adam Pearce.
Oh, Adam Pearce. Johnny Sins look alike. Yeah, okay.
Yes, Johnny Sins. And then Adam Pearce said, hey, how about, okay, Jey Uso versus Daniel Bryan. If Daniel Bryan wins at WrestleMania, he will join the main event and it becomes a triple threat match.
Wow! And they essentially rehash what WrestleMania was that?
WrestleMania 30 lah, where it was Daniel Bryan Triple H at the beginning of the show. If he wins, he go fight the next night.
Yeah, bro. I still think I like my Fatal 4-way idea. A McMahon in every corner. WrestleMania 2000. Book it.
A Samoan cousin in every corner.
Edge don't have Samoan cousin, okay?
They got enough. No. Edge will bring back Rikishi for this one.
Oh, I did it for Edge. See, if Edge
my
had
God.
Christian, he would have Christian in his corner.
Maybe Christian knew that he was going to have to be in just his corner. He will be like, I'm just sick of being the corner guy.
Yeah, I'm the
Fuck it lah,
main.
just gonna leave.
Yeah, I'm the main event. Outwork everybody. Well, that's not what it says on my shirt.
Main
but-
event Christian.
Oh no, I don't know about that. But
Yeah. But I'm happy that I guess Christian was not gonna be just like a side note
Yeah.
in this feud. They had to get more creative, right?
I like what Irvin said, by the way. Daniel Bryan versus Jey Uso, but it's actually the returning Jimmy Uso, Twin Magic.
So they did like a Bella switch, lah.
Yeah,
Oh dear God. Okay. I mean, hey, I think the best time for Jimmy to return at WrestleMania wouldn't it be? Oh my God. Okay, if it's just a one-on-one match between Daniel Bryan and Jey Uso, right?
Yeah.
And like everyone expects Daniel Bryan to win, but you know Daniel Bryan, he would want to put over talent.
yeah, Jimmy.
So Jimmy is the one that replaces. He comes back, and Jimmy basically essentially turns heel
Yep.
and assists his brother.
Yeah lah,
and
that-
beats Daniel Bryan.
And the irony is, if they do Twin Magic swap, because Daniel Bryan is married to
Free Bella. Oh my God.
dude. Oh, they need to do it. It's so meta. There's so many Easter eggs. They need to do that shit. They can be like, we
Yeah,
learned
man.
from your wife.
Can be a 4-hour Bella's cut,
Oh my God. Okay.
not a Snyder cut. A Bella's cut.
Dave says, OMG, if it's really Edge versus Daniel Bryan for the title at WrestleMania. Yeah, it definitely has to be Roman Reigns. He is like established as the monster heel, you know? And not just a physical monster, but just like, you know, like a smart mental sort of a heel, like a manipulator.
Table, very
Yeah.
cerebral.
Yeah. So
Yeah, fan of heel, yeah.
and it will only take someone like The Rock to dethrone him. So we need The Rock back, guys. Or can you imagine the biggest swerve at the end of Fastlane? Okay, this is complete fantasy now. Complete fantasy, all right? But imagine at the end of Fastlane, Roman Reigns holds his title up. He's beaten Daniel Bryan. And then Edge tries to special enforce and he destroys Edge as well. Turns out Edge and Daniel Bryan were red herrings all along. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Dun, dun, dun. And then Rock comes out and challenges Roman Reigns.
At
Holy shit.
WrestleMania itself.
Yeah, bro, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? That would pop.
Oh, man.
That would be like debut on Peacock. That's what I'm saying. But okay,
Okay,
lah,
but
fantasy lah,
I'm
fantasy.
I'm still gonna hold true to the fact that if Roman Reigns and The Rock is gonna happen, it won't be this WrestleMania, it won't be next WrestleMania, it will be WrestleMania in LA.
Oh,
Mark my words.
Hollywood. Rock versus Reigns, food on the table match. Irvin says.
Yeah, the battle of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh my god. Reigns was in Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw, right?
Yes, correct.
In a cameo role. So, there you have it. That is that's the card anyway, as it stands right now on this Friday afternoon. I'm sure they'll add one more, but to be fair, like I said, they've been cutting down their pay-per-view timings. They know that too much wrestling is it fatigues the audience lah. So their pay-per-views have been shorter, which I actually do appreciate. So
yeah, it's very interesting that the match, like the lineup is so short. But again, maybe they want to keep it short because it's a new audience. They might not want to oversaturate.
Yep.
Or like, you know, they will say, hey, you know, we're gonna just do.
Oh my god. Bro.
Oh, 2 hours. Okay, I don't mind watching.
Bro, hang on. You're cutting out like crazy. Your internet connection is yeeting again. In the meantime, okay, I just very quickly want to put out a point as well, looking at the card itself, right? So we talked about, first of all, Alexa Bliss, Randy Orton. There's your weird, like, gimmick match, right? And the rest are all quite hard-hitting, if you think about it. So they put a very athletic-based, sports-based card up, with the exception of Alexa Bliss versus Randy Orton, if you look at the card as it stands.
I guess so. Can you hear me, bro? Am I okay now?
Yeah, you can. I think, the connection is just really bad today for some reason. So, whatever the case may be, though, before Cena sticks his nose in the F&F feuds, oh my god, because someone says Hidayah. Hey, hi, Hidayah, how are you? Hidayah says, worse still if Cena versus Reigns. Yeah, that one, no lah. Cena is busy doing whatever he's doing, so.
Yeah, they've done it already lah. Hey, but John Cena, I think John Cena will be the next Hollywood guy coming back once a year and putting people over.
Yeah.
That seems to be his next role.
Actually, I do miss John Cena. He really does bring a lot to the table. He brings a lot of mainstream hype and everything. So, and he's always been so loyal to the WWE. There is no money in the world, I think, that AEW can give to Cena that he doesn't already have. He's a movie star. He doesn't need the money. You know what I mean?
Bro, Cena at this point is a legend,
Yeah.
And I think every time he comes back, he has reached that level where whoever he's in the ring with will definitely be put over. So I like that he is away because fans won't be such a dick about it. And we can miss him, right?
Yeah.
And when he comes back once in a while, remember the last time he came back, I think he put over Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
He had like a segment with Becky Lynch. I thought that was pretty cool.
Irvin says Cena looks like a neighborly uncle right now. Cannot. With his longer
It's the
hair.
It's the freaking hair.
He's no
He
longer
look like
the,
JBL.
Oh my god, yeah, he does. He's no longer the doctor of thugonomics. Thugonomics. Okay, there you go. That's Fastlane for you. It's gonna be fun. For us here in Singapore, it's gonna be a Monday morning sort of a pay-per-view.
Yeah, and we'll be here next week to review it for sure. And any interesting fallout, like the Fiend returning, the Bellas having a swerve, or as in what I'm saying is like if they were to do the Jimmy and Jay swerve, it might even happen earlier. You never know.
Yeah, it could, but it's gonna be a fun one, and like Ford mentioned, we will come back and talk about it next week. Okay, next up, we want to talk about, because this week is 316, right? So Steve Austin, legend. I was thinking about it, and I do my best thinking when I'm showering or taking a shit, so you can guess which one I was doing while I was thinking about it. But if there was no Stone Cold Steve Austin, would WWE or WWF have won the Monday Night Wars?
Bro, the wrestling as we know it today won't exist, bro.
Yeah? Okay. Chat, weigh in on this, all right? Look at the Attitude Era talent. Even, obviously, Steve Austin was a huge, landmark, a linchpin of the Attitude Era. But what if there was no Stone Cold Steve Austin? If Steve Williams didn't exist at all? Does WWE survive the Monday Night Wars?
Then the Triple H reign of terror would have started way earlier lah.
Or maybe here's the thing. Who would The Rock feud with?
The Rock, Triple H, Stone Cold. I mean, if not Stone Cold, then it will be Triple H lah. That's the next number one guy lah.
But yeah, Triple H is not going to be able to pull off what he pulled off back then, because when I look at him, Stone Cold, right? He was the perfect guy in the perfect moment in the perfect time. It was like that perfect confluence, like Hulk Hogan was. And for that era, in the US especially, there was this wave of rebellion, right? Everyone wanted to flip the middle finger to people, to authority, to their bosses and stuff like that. And Stone Cold was the perfect guy to look up to at the time. Now, I don't see Rock filling that role. I don't see Triple H.
It was South Park.
What's that? Oh, I think we hit another spot of lag.
No, I was saying there was South Park, there was Cops.
Yes. Those TV shows, Jackass.
Like you're talking about in mainstream, right?
Yeah, mainstream media. So it was always about a fuck you to the authority lah. So that was who else could have pulled that off? Do you think Triple H? I mean, he kind of did with DX and everything, but that was a more fun way. Whereas Stone Cold was a really like a FU. Div Royalty says Austin was a very important character that a lot of people related to. DX is crazy, but not as related. Yeah, DX were a bunch of punks, right? You can't really relate to the punks.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
You actually will hate people like them. They will be good villains. But in terms of the one leading the charge, I mean, no one else but Stone Cold, bro. Stone Cold, if you remember his Hall of Fame promo package from WrestleMania 25, Chris Jericho said something really, really poignant. He said Stone Cold was the guy that took WWE into the promised land. He took them from the darkness into the promised land. Because, hey, you got to remember, before the late 90s, WWE was a shit show.
Yeah, well, I mean...
There wasn't a lot of I mean, okay, no, I mean, bro, I mean, other than Brett, but in terms of like the wrestling,
Oh dear. Okay, we're
Yes,
hitting a spot of lag
at that
again.
point
So
I-
you're, bro, you're cutting in and out again on the chat. So let me just read what chat has to say. Irvin says had to be someone that was consistent since the start. If referee Ryan says if Stone Cold didn't exist, I think the current wrestling scene would be very different. And Austin consistently was the badass even as the ringmaster. Yeah, he was a badass in the ring, but in terms of his character, it was kind of like, you know, he didn't really have that whole like F you to the authority attitude until, you know, yeah, King of the Ring. We all remember that Austin 316 says I just whooped your ass and stuff like that. So like I said lah, right person, right time. He was the perfect confluence of everything. And you know, it's one thing that, I mean, we're celebrating Stone Cold Steve Austin this week, right? Because it's 316. But let's not forget, the reason that Stone Cold Steve Austin was popular is, yes, he had all the talent in the world. But you know who I'm alluding to right now? If not for this one other element.
Mr. McMahon.
Yeah, there you go. It's Mr.
Mr.
McMahon. So Mr. McMahon was the other half, the evil, you know, counterpart, the villain to the hero. A hero is nothing unless they have a good villain. So when we celebrate 316, I feel like we need to celebrate or rather Mr. McMahon, the character as well.
Yes, the character. I mean, that whole, you know, fighting against boss, Rage Against the Machine. Every week, Stone Cold had to run over Mr. McMahon or drive like piss him off.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about Stone Cold that's very underrated, bro. He can drive any machine in the world, it seems.
Yeah, car,
And it has been
truck.
proven in his own Steve Austin show.
Oh, is it? Zamboni machine, freaking monster truck, all he drive. He like has multiple driver's
Fun
license or
fact,
something.
Do you guys know that? Yeah. Fun fact, when back in Texas, right, before he got into wrestling, he was a driving car instructor, you know.
No wonder lah. No wonder he has the skills. See, his entire life was leading up to this moment of him being a wrestler, driving trucks and cars into buildings and shit like that.
Yeah. So like, what's more exciting, man? It's like literally reality TV / crash TV, every single Monday night on Raw.
Exactly. And I mean, okay, to be fair too, I mean, The Rock versus Austin, that was an epic feud. Triple H versus Austin, so many awesome feuds. We asked you on our social media, on our Insta stories, by the way, to share your favorite 316, your Steve Austin memories. Don't mind me, by the way, if you hear a plane going by. Excuse me, Air Force, please. I got live podcast right now. Why are you always flying your planes over during lunchtime? But okay, Grim says by far and jaw-dropping when he brought the beer truck and hose down the beer bath.
Yeah, man, I love that. What a iconic moment, man.
Jinx, aka Trickster, says stunned the Donald.
His 2007, he got in the feud between Mr. McMahon and Donald Trump.
Yeah, he actually stunned the future president. Like, what other wrestler can say that?
Yeah, actually, that's quite badass. That is a good milestone to have in your career.
Yeah, man. Jason from Brunei, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the podcast. We appreciate you.
Hey, Jason. What's
Irvin says when he came out and stunned everyone from the Alliance, what a pop. This was during the, you know, Alliance versus WWE days, right?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up how, you know, Stone Cold, every time he enters an arena, the pops for him is amazing. It's crazy, man. Especially remember when I think the Alliance is that one episode where he had the steel chair. He started like chair shot everyone from like the parking lot garage all the way to the ramp, all the way to the ring.
Yeah. I mean, like, and it's like I said, like he had the perfect everything. Even his entrance music was iconic. The glass shattering.
Yeah.
Muhammad Daniel says just stunning anyone and everyone he pleases. Yes.
Yes.
Double K says Stone Cold beer truck. There you go. Another one for the beer bath. Invasion storyline as Paranoid Steve. What? You know what? Actually, that is one of my favorite Steves. The paranoid suck up to Vince McMahon Steve. I don't know if you remember that, but I know a lot of people hated that Steve Austin. But I actually really, because he got to prove that he is consistently funny as hell as well. Also being a venomous badass. You know, this was when he was like a bit of a a kiss ass, but also he was brutal in the ring as well. He would do very dastardly things.
Him and Kurt Angle at that point in time was comedic gold, man.
Oh my god, yes. What? Yeah, and
dear God.
someone else says 2-man power trip as well. That's another Steve Austin moment.
Yeah. Let me think another good one. I really like the entire Rikishi who ran.
I did it for The Rock. Okay, Jason says Stone Cold in an empty arena and stunning Byron's Sexton. That one was very sad. He even said in an interview, like, doing these empty arena gigs, there's just no vibe, and it sucked. He thought it sucked. Do you remember that, right?
That was last year, right? Yeah, that was last year's 316 day. I think that was like one of the first Raws during the pandemic. But okay lah, that was unprecedented time. Not a lot of people.
Exactly. There's nothing he could do about it. So, I mean, it also goes to show, actually, if you think about it, what kind of a performer he is. He's the type of performer that feeds off a crowd. And if there's no crowd, Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't work. Not in that sort of traditional way, anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
You all right?
Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can hear you. But the thing is, like, my voice and my head doesn't match, so I'm trying to like get it in sync. Okay,
well, don't worry. Just continue talking. And ignore what you see on the screen. This one called first time do live stream. Okay, so what other 316 memories do you have that really stand out? Chat, let us know right now. Like I said, for me, it's as much as I lived through the Attitude Era. And here's the thing: I was never a huge Steve Austin fan. Like, and that was the best part about the Attitude Era at the time. There was always something for you to latch onto. For me, it was The Rock. I gravitated more towards The Rock because I feel like that rebellious attitude thing. Hear me out, all right? I think us fellow Asians, fellow Singaporeans can relate. But I couldn't relate to the rebellious Steve Austin because I'm like, hey, I'm Chinese. I'm very quiet one. I'm very obedient. You know, I listen to authority. Singaporeans very good at listening to authority. I listen to government. Okay, so I would never like to authority.
But maybe another reason why you like The Rock is because The Rock is such a smart ass, and I think a lot of us Singaporeans, we just love to make sarcastic remarks.
Yes, that's exactly it, bro. I think that's what. If you ask me, if we did like a island-wide poll of all wrestling fans, I would dare say The Rock would win over Austin because Austin really relates to the American culture, sort of a rebellious nature of you know, that character, whereas The Rock is a smart aleck. He will make jokes about you, he'll call you names and stuff like that, and that's something we enjoy and we relate to because we are snarky assholes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, definitely, I don't want to embrace that fact so wholeheartedly, but
you know,
The Rock, I would say, has more universal appeal. You know why? Okay, you know a lot. You know how many friends of mine think that The Rock looks like their uncle. Oh my! He looks a bit Malay. You know, if you know what I mean.
Okay, yeah, sure. Because you know, the tan skin and everything. Sure.
It's the Samoan island vibes. Hey, I mean, that's one thing.
Bro, which uncle looks so handsome and so swole?
Bro, I will find you a photo of my uncle and I will show it to you. His face exactly the same, but it's a skinny guy lah.
Oh, okay. Not swole lah.
Yeah, not so. Okay, but another thing about The Rock, I think, in terms of what makes him so great as an opponent to Stone Cold, right? You always see this very highly competitive edge between both. Every time they interact, right? No one really gets the upper hand from one guy. So like every time The Rock wants to be a smart aleck, Stone Cold is just gonna be a asshole to him. Yeah. Every time Stone Cold wants to what him, The Rock can always come back with a quirky or like a witty remark back. So it's like none of them look bad when they interact with one another. It's two alpha males lah.
Yeah. It's two alpha males that clash. Even when they were both in the Intercontinental level, I remember those feuds. Like, you know, Stone Cold throwing the Intercontinental title into the ocean and stuff like that. Into the river, not ocean. Div Royalty says Rock is annoying, but unfortunately charismatic, super charismatic. And Referee Ryan says we love some savage comments. We do. You go to any comment section on Instagram or YouTube or on Facebook, you see snarky comments. Singaporeans, very good. Some dumb shit comments, but still try to be snarky. That's why we relate to The Rock.
Bro, that's why this podcast gets a lot of views is because of Mister Young and his snarky comments. I just play the straight man only.
Oh, okay. Thanks. I appreciate that you appreciate the
Don't you
snark.
guys agree?
No.
Don't you guys agree in the chat?
No,
You'll come
no.
here for Mr. Young's comments.
No.
on AEW
Hey.
and Young Bucks.
What? Hey, I happen to... Okay, no, their booking is terrible right now. I want to make this clear. I don't think that they have bad talent. I just think that, Booker of the year 2020, he needs to get better for 2021. Anyway, that being said,
Yeah, but I mean, let's wrap up about Stone Cold. I think another great thing about Stone Cold, in my opinion, is he has such a believable fighting style, and I think that changed because of his injury, right?
yes,
From technical wrestler to a brawler.
His neck injury made him a brawler,
Yeah.
and the funny thing is, him becoming a brawler made him a star.
Yeah, and the brawling became a main event WWE style of matches.
To be fair,
because of him.
there have been brawlers before, but it's the combination, like I said, perfect combination of his character, the timing, people, and that's why I say, right, at the end of the day, when you watch, especially now with the UFC, people kind of know what fighting looks like. And
Yep.
so when you try to do too many flying jalapeno wraps and triple moonsault, habanero sauce, off the top rope, fuck shit, whatever nonsense, it really takes you out of the reality. Yeah, you want to see the flips once in a while, but it's got to be like, holy shit, he really threw it all out there. That's why I keep going back to the Ricochet style, the Young Bucks style. It's not sustainable. You will
Yeah,
never be on like
And
a
I feel like if
billboard.
Stone Cold was a brawler his entire career, and no neck injury aside, I think he would have lasted as long as John Cena. Probably have done
Yeah.
10 years, 15, because his style is actually quite safe.
Yeah. And you see, it goes back. Well, here's the thing. It goes back to also he's a ring general. He knows the psychology. He learned from Jake the Snake, right? When to hold back, when to make the comeback, all that stuff. All the stuff that we don't necessarily like pay attention to because this is the quote unquote inside stuff. Not to say that we know a lot about it, but when you watch a Stone Cold match, there's ups and downs. It's not all high until you desensitize already and then numb.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like a
I
Young
think
Bucks
maybe maybe because of us appreciating him in his old age, and he's been doing a lot of like
His old
podcasts, interviews, and all that, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to really appreciate how kind of a genuine dude he is, man.
Yeah.
Like he's such a cool, down to earth, genuine guy. And it really comes across when he does his interview. So it's such a great, even departure, right, bro? From the asshole he played when he was, like this anti-hero guy, because he was kind of a dick,
Yeah.
but
Well,
a cool dick.
If you look back, I mean, he said so in interviews as well. He addresses his whole taking his ball and going home. He fully accepts it. Says, yeah, I took my ball and I went home. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it is what it is. No, he's not the kind of guy who like tries to shy away or justify the shit that he's done before. Hulk Hogan.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing that makes Stone Cold such like a very endearing character. Even all the way until now, I feel that he, as much as he has his flaws, he make mistakes, he does this, he does that, but like he's very consistent as a human being.
Yes,
he
yes.
owns up to what he is. He doesn't shy away from what he is. If he makes mistakes, he's a man about it. And even though you can see he's very proud of the work he's done, but he's also kind of comes out as a very humble guy.
Yeah.
You should watch him in other mediums, like for example when his Hot Wings interview.
Oh, right, yeah.
Or when he on the Steve Austin show as well.
Well, to be fair, let me play devil's advocate here. It is easy to be humble when you have everything already. Okay? Let me just put that out there. If he were someone who never hit the main event, he, might still be a little bit salty about it. But
Maybe.
But we don't know. You know what I mean?
If he had stayed at ECW for the rest of his career, after he got fired by WCW, maybe he's not as he probably have a lot of chip on his shoulder. Perhaps.
Irvin says Austin was a pioneer in the wrestler podcast genre. He was the one that gave Jericho the context. I remember that. I remember when he was the one who did it first, right? Then after that, all of a sudden, Jericho and then freaking everybody and all the ex-wrestlers got podcasts.
yeah, he was, and it's very interesting, you know. I don't know how he got into it. Like, I don't remember him.
I think he one day just decided to, you know what? He's probably a fan of the Joe Rogan podcast, so he was probably inspired there. I know Joe Rogan inspired a lot of people to start podcasts. And, you know, it makes sense for a sport that has such a huge fan base, like a die-hard fan base, to be able to hear one of their heroes and their insight into the business is definitely something that will sell.
You know, a very interesting thing, detail that I want to share is I actually have listened to the very first episode of Stone Cold's podcast ever.
Okay.
So like a couple of years ago, Stone Cold puts out like classic episodes nowadays. Like so he will just repost old episodes. So there was actually the very first episode, which was very interesting to hear, bro. If you really listen to it, it's like the most like. Obviously, he was unprepared. He had no idea what he was doing.
So
he was just shooting from the hip. And it was only like 20 minutes, bro.
Oh, wow.
It's literally like he just talking into a phone like a voice memo. He was like, man, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing, but all I know is I want to talk to you fans. And he was like hosting like holding imaginary polls like, hey guys, you know, do you want to see me you know, talk some shit about some guy next week? Just let me know. Email me, send an email.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Bro, it's very 2009, bro. So
well,
I can say.
I mean, here's the thing, like everyone, when you are starting something new, right? Even when we first started the podcast, we have to find our own voice as well. You know, it's not like, oh, just because a person does radio like myself, podcast should come easy. It's a different medium altogether, right? And this is why
I mean, this is the first time you were doing podcasting, like when you did this wrestling podcast, right?
Yeah, this was my first podcast. I mean, I have been there's the other thing, you should probably not eat a sweet while you're talking. But you know, what are we talking about? Yeah, podcast. I've been a fan of like the Joe Rogan podcast for the longest time. I've always wanted to do podcasts, but it's like, okay, what do I talk about? Well, wrestling is something, and then of course I met you, that whole history. We've been through that before, so it's easy to talk about something that we're both so passionate about, right?
Yeah,
but it is also another thing to find your voice and to make it super casual and comfortable as well. And I think that any wrestler's first episode is going to sound very clunky, very weird.
Yeah, I mean, even now, bro, like I won't profess to say like, you know, I'm a great voiceover guy, or like, you know, I'm very coherent in my thoughts. You know, sometimes I go into weird interludes, you know, monologues, and
but that's the joy of podcasts. A podcast is a conversation. A podcast is not a produced segment.
Yeah, it's true. But I think what makes us, I guess, very compelling in the sense when you talk about podcast is sometimes when you're passionate, right? When you're a passionate person and you are passionately talking about subject they really, really love, you're not very coherent. Sometimes you just have bursts of like, you know, random things you just want to share, of like nuggets of information, or like just thoughts and hot takes on certain things.
Yeah, it's that whole idea of a stream of consciousness. When you talk to your friends, you're not measured. You don't sit down and calculate everything you talk about. If you do, people will think you're fake. People will think, oh, you obviously rehearsed this. Something wrong with you. Why you talk like that? Nobody talk like that one, you know? Correct.
And going back to Stone Cold, I feel like that's the thing that is the magic X factor sauce about him. He's such an authentic guy. Yeah. He doesn't come across as a phony guy. Like, he is a legit badass.
Did you watch the Meeting Stone Cold special on the WWE Network?
Yes, I did.
They interviewed a bunch of, I mean, everyone who sort of has worked with him. And then I remember, like, from what you were saying, Michael Hayes, Doc Hendricks, when he interviewed Stone, because Stone Cold earlier in that pay-per-view in King of the Ring, he got injured, so they had to send him to the hospital. But then they had to bring him back to finish it up in the finals with Jake the Snake, right? And he actually missed Jake the Snake's promo in the middle of the card, where Jake the Snake, this is when Jake the Snake was thumping his Bible and doing, like, you know, the whole Bible verses, stuff like that. So literally Stone Cold came back, looked at Michael Hayes and said, what did Jake say? So that he can respond,
Yeah.
When he eventually won. And then Michael Hayes said, yeah, he said something about like a Bible verse, John 3:16. Then Austin was like, okay, got it. And then went out and delivered that epic, iconic promo. Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass. Like, literally, he just came out with that. Like, because that was him being him. It wasn't like 20 writers writing that shit down. Oh, You see, and that might be the problem with today's wrestlers in that they're not. We all know, right? The writers, they give these wrestlers scripts to go out there and deliver. That's why a lot of them come off as fake and not genuine.
Can you believe like that is something that Stone Cold can come out on the fly? Like I just think that his mind, bro, how quick-witted he is, his responses, and every time he always talks about, like, people always ask you how he comes up with all these very creative put-downs and insults. And he said, man, this is just me growing up in southern Texas and hearing all the people respond to each other and talk shit with each other. This is how they talk.
Yeah.
And that is so cool. Like, yeah, that's true. Your environment is kind of the thing that shape you into the way you are. I can literally imagine Stone Cold in a bar in Texas talking like that to like the bartender or like some guy who's a farmer or a police officer talks like that. you know?
And that's why he's relatable, especially in that North American context, because you know, of these like comebacks or and the crowd reacts, right? And at the end of the day too, he's very smart at picking up what the crowd is picking up, and then he will just continually hammering that. Like the what thing, like how did that even come about? It was just a random promo where he just kept going what just to be an annoying dick, you know?
So the story behind that, and it was so interesting when he told us the story, and not told me lah, but you know, so share in the podcast. He actually has a hearing problem. Stone Cold has a hearing problem. Okay. So he's very deaf.
Right.
So every time when people talk to him on the phone and when he's driving or what, he always miss. So he always like, hey, what? What? So literally that was him trying to hear when people talk. So every time when people try to communicate to him in the ring, he also really can't hear. So he always has to like lean in close and say, what? So I think that almost became like a running joke among like friends of Stone Cold. It's like every time I talk to you, I have to repeat myself. Annoying, yeah. So he took that and ran away. So I love how he took something that technically is people making fun of him or like his own flaw, turn it into, you know, the most annoying catchphrase of all time, but it's very, very popular.
Well, a lot of these things, right? And like another example is like the people's elbow. Like The Rock has told this story before. Like the whole idea of it was to do a move that was so outrageous that would pop the Undertaker. Because, you know, Undertaker is notorious for not breaking character ever. So in house show loops, they would try to do stupid shit to make to pop the Undertaker. But then he would do it and then the people in the crowd would pop. So he'd be like, hey, shit, maybe I'm onto something. Then the people's elbow became a thing.
Yeah. I think we will be remiss to not mention another iconic thing about Stone Cold is his post-match celebration with the beers. When I was young, I can't fathom how the hell he can catch any single beer throw, bro.
Right.
Like any time, right? He will never miss a beer throw, you know.
He's just good at catching, bro. And whoever's throwing is good at lobbing.
So yeah, the guy, he's a very well-known. He used to be the ring bell. The ring bell taker. His name is Mark Eaton.
Oh yeah, Mark Eaton. Yes, the
you remember
ring bell guy. Yeah,
mustachio guy. But yeah, I think it's such a party, you know. So you can imagine all the jocks.
Yeah.
Like when they watch him, like wow, this guy celebrate with the beer with all the water everywhere. Like such a cool visual. And then you can see all the girls will be like, damn, I want to get showered by all this beer. You know, that's also a very cool visual. So I just all around cool, you know, and that's the reason why the Attitude Era works so well. It is you want to be part of that crowd.
Yeah. Obviously, we've talked about how the Attitude Era wouldn't work in 2021. Okay, let's just as a fantasy exercise, and you're still with us in chat, you join us for this fantasy exercise. If Steve Williams existed now, in 2021, now is his prime, what kind of character would he be? Who would Steve Austin be if he were a character, he were an active wrestler right now?
Obviously a lot of people, make that comparison with John Moxley, right? But stop. Let me stop you right there. Stop. No. I just wanted to trigger Mr. Young. I know he's gonna respond.
No. John Moxley doesn't have the same charisma as Stone Cold does. Like there's that X factor that's there that Stone Cold has.
You know what's the big difference between someone like John Moxley and someone like Stone Cold?
What?
I think Stone Cold is a very personable guy. In the sense that I think he will be he's good in social situations. He loves the conversation with people, even though he seems like a lone ranger guy.
Yeah.
But I think he can carry conversation. I think he will do well in social situation.
Mox
But
doesn't
someone like
seem
John
like
Moxley
it, no.
is the opposite.
Yeah, he's like a complete introvert, right?
Yeah, very introvert. So I think that's the. But it's not as if Stone Cold is not an introvert. I do see some bouts of introvert
Yeah.
tendencies in him.
Yeah, but he's probably an ambivert lah. You know, he like given the situation, he can go out there and be that social person. But actually, he also appreciates his own like.
Yeah, so that's the thing that
time.
makes, I think, Stone Cold seems very endearing or likable to a lot of people.
Okay,
it seems like he can relate.
Irvin says he would be cancelled right away. Div Royalty says, I'd love for him to be running around punching millennials and hipsters in the face. Oh, like an anti-millennial, like anti-hipster sort of a character.
Wait, actually that will be his gimmick lah, bro. In
Yeah,
2021, he'll be a guy that just shits on all the PC culture people.
Yeah. Austin 2021, Jason says, Kevin Owens, watered down.
Yeah, okay. See, here's my problem with Kevin Owens' comparisons with Stone Cold. He just has a different vibe. Like, okay, first of all, Kevin Owens is a family man. I think that comes across really clearly in his character.
Yeah.
So the way he will fight for his family, like he's a fighter, but he fights for something.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, Kevin Owens, okay, to use a comic book kind of comparison, he's more like a Punisher.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay, I mean, like if like we really like push the narrative of him being a family guy. Like the only reason he fights and avenge is for his family. So I think that informs a lot of his character.
Yeah.
But he's not like the cool guy that everyone wants to drink and have beer with, that kind of thing. He's not that kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out, bro, who could be Stone Cold in this current generation.
You know what? The fact that we can't think of anything might be a good thing. It might just mean that, like I said, that character was perfect for the time it was in and cannot be replicated again. There cannot be another Stone Cold. It would not work.
You know what? If Stone Cold was in 2021, he'd probably be like some sort of Republican pro-gun guy, bro. I think all the Republicans will like love him.
No, but he's the flipping off the government. He would be like, he's stunning Donald Trump and all that. I don't know.
Yeah, all the freaking right wing that stormed the White House, all like him.
Oh my god. Oh no.
No, but I think it's like he's actually a cool guy, but he inadvertently influenced all these guys. Oh, actually, I know someone that might be like him.
Okay.
Based on how he conducts himself and how he himself has shown that he's a big fan of Stone Cold. I think Pat McAfee could be someone like Stone Cold. Think about it.
Okay. Oh, but it's a completely different vibe, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like a vibe check, maybe different.
Yeah.
But in terms of like the hell raising, in terms of like being confident in himself, like got a bit of that southern kind of like.
Yeah, but like Pat McAfee still like, I mean, he has the whole I'm a star, I fly personal jets sort of a thing.
Because he said that he was a Stone Cold guy more than a Rock guy, even though I thought that he felt more like the Rock in his comparison, but he considers himself a Stone Cold guy.
No, I mean, but him being a fan of Stone Cold more than Rock doesn't mean that I see no similarities there at all.
Yeah, for me it's because possibly it's just he seems like a jock. And someone like all the other dudes will like, think that they're cool, Stone Cold just has that very effortless, he doesn't have to try hard to win and impress people, but he just does.
Yeah, it's the X Factor, like the lone wolf sort of, I'm cool, I'm here, and he's never going to be a part of a stable, but that's fine. What about, what's his face? Hangman.
Maybe in certain situations, I think he has the potential to be like that, because I think he has that innate cool vibe about him that he doesn't have to try.
Right. Actually, Irvin just brought up something really, really good. Balor. Just too small
Finn
and
Balor.
too Irish. Yeah, like the current Prince, not the Demon Balor, obviously, but Prince Balor, actually, you're right. He just comes in and then point gun at people head, whatever shit. Like, he has that air about him, and when you see him, he immediately sort of makes an impression.
Yeah. Finn Balor, right, got that, I would call it the Peaky Blinder cool vibe about him.
Okay, yeah.
He got that British, like, you know Guy Ritchie films?
Yeah. He has that vibe.
So like, he had that very Jason Statham, Stock and Barrel. I don't know what the name of that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of Yeah, that kind of cool. But a very Americana Stone Cold kind of no one bro since Stone Cold himself.
Yeah, so there you go. That just shows you how unique and how special Stone Cold Steve Austin was and continues to be. But yeah, this is a good point by Jason. Austin was cool, but also represented a working class man. Oh my God, Otis, blue collar, working class. Who's now apparently a bad guy. Whatever.
Now that I think about it, when you say the working class thing, right? Has there been a current wrestler, bro, out of Texas, other than Braun Strowman? He seems like a Texas kid.
Who's working class? Oh my God. Okay, please, before we wrap things up, we have to talk about what could be the dumbest feud going to WrestleMania right now.
Hey, isn't Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon supposed to fight, or did that match drop? It's supposed to be a Fastlane match, right?
No, it wasn't supposed to be. It's probably going to be WrestleMania. Okay, let me just read a few comments before we get to that. Hangman's too goofy. Austin's super out there, doesn't hide his emotions. True that. Hangman is just an alcoholic lah, low-key alcoholic.
Different. Alcoholic and Stone Cold is an alcoholic, but that's not the thing that defines him.
No. See, here's the thing. Okay, when you talk about alcoholics, right? Oh my God. And no, alcoholism is a real problem. If you have a problem, seek help. But
okay, can.
All that aside, right? Stone Cold is like a fun drunk. He's drinking beer, he's toasting everybody,
Yeah.
He's the life of the party. Hangman is the fucking quiet, annoying drunk who just sits in one corner like, you know what I mean?
He's just the creepy,
the broody,
emo with his own thoughts drunk.
Yes, and we know people like that, okay?
Yeah.
In fact, if you come to my Twitch stream when I'm playing games, you can ask me who in radio is what kind of drunk, I'll tell you. I know.
Oh dear God. Okay, so there's a plug for Mister Young's Twitch. Here's some tea.
Twitch.tv/Mister Young 98. Okay, anyway, cheap plug.
But before we go to that topic, I just want to say one more thing about Stone Cold. I think, okay, this is a very, very sophomoric reason to like a wrestler. But I think a lot of guys look up to some of the wrestlers because they see how they do with the ladies.
Oh,
you know,
yes.
like they got that cool, charming, like they might seem very attractive to the lady. Okay, so for example, The Rock's like definitely is a ladies' man. Like I think every girl will swoon for The Rock.
I think it's the whole athletic thing, what? Athletes just get girls.
Yeah, he's an athlete and it's also like the charm and he's smart, blah, 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 right? But Stone Cold, I realize he has appealed to the ladies in a very interesting, different way.
Okay.
So this is based on like my observation of him, like when he interact with like female wrestlers or female talent in WWE, but also when he does interviews outside with like the most random, very Hollywood type of, YouTube channels like People magazine, or like they go on the talk shows with all these like, very prim and proper blonde girls. So Stone Cold has a type, guys. Stone Cold loves blondes.
Well, I mean, Deborah, all his ex-wives are, I think, mostly blondes.
His first wife, and this is way back when I was doing research on him, his first wife is actually British.
Oh, yes.
And actually accompanied him when he was in the Dangerous Alliance. So Miss Jeanine or something. So also very blonde, very typical 80s puffy blonde hair look.
Yeah.
But yeah, so how Stone Cold kind of like appeals, really, he got that very, is it called a drunk, liquid courage kind of kind of appeal?
Yeah, I think so. You're right.
Yeah. Have you seen this part of Raw? I think it was like a backstage segment or like end of Raw where the footage just continues rolling.
Okay.
Where he had a beer buff with Lillian Garcia.
Oh.
And then he went down on his one knee, and then after he beer buffed Lillian Garcia, he actually asked, "Hey Lillian, will you?" Then everyone thought he was gonna propose, right? Then he said, "Will you get me another beer?"
No, like we talk about, he's just this fun drunk who also happens to be a multi-million-dollar athlete lah. So
very fun-loving.
Yeah, this is probably his appeal. Div says, "OMG, is Sheamus the Irish fun drunk?" Can you imagine that is his next gimmick? He's like the next Austin. But instead of beers, he like grabs Guinness or something and then chugs Guinness.
I can see Sheamus as a spiritual Austin successor though, because he also has that very fun-loving. I mean, if you see him like how he interacts with his fellow wrestlers. His Sheamus workout, workout YouTube channel.
The accent,
yeah,
though.
It's very fun-loving.
But then again, the Irish accent is, very attractive, especially after Conor McGregor made it super, cool to be super Irish and just trash talk people. So anyway, actually, Sheamus might be a good example of how that could work. Now, and Sheamus can pull off the whole working man thing as well. I think he's just jacked as
You know what?
F.
bro, maybe we just stumbled upon it. I think Sheamus, okay, not like for like Stone Cold, but in terms of his spirit,
Yeah. He
I
could be.
think Sheamus does have that fun-loving,
There you
appeal.
go. We figured it out. It's not Cameron Grimes. It's not whoever the hell is freaking Sheamus. There you go.
It's Shamus.
Shamus. Okay, Dave Royalty says he's like the rough, strong guy, but has a heart of gold and funny AF, but will beat up anybody who disturbs you, like all those cowboy romance novels. Yes, that's it from the lady. That makes perfect sense.
Leave it to the lady. Thank you, Deep Royalty. Yeah, that's right. Like Stone Cold is basically, I got it really,
Cowboy
bro.
lah, cowboy ah.
He is a southern gentleman.
Southern gentleman. Yes.
So he's got that, all these like Texan guys, they're a bit rough around the edges,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
very polite with the ladies.
Yeah.
Very sweet. Oh my God, we figured it out.
Okay, there you go. We just need to figure out who that is in 2021. All right, let's move on to the shittiest. Everyone always says, oh, Mr. Young, you always swan AEW. Okay, record this down right now. Clip this out right now because I'm going to shit on WWE for their Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon feud, which is arguably the worst feud. And it got even worse when Shane McMahon slimed Braun Strowman on Raw. What the fuck?
Yeah, bro, what the fuck was it about?
Okay, is Braun Strowman going on Nickelodeon? Are they foreshadowing his appearance on Nickelodeon? You know Nickelodeon, the awards where they slime people?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But why is Shane McMahon being the bully in the situation? Why is he not the other way around?
Because they need him to be a heel. I don't know. They want to give... It just reeks to me of last minute bookings. Okay, we need a match. Shane McMahon, you want to jump off something high? Okay, Braun Strowman, you have no match. Okay, you go and beat up Shane McMahon. Boom, there, done.
I mean, you know what? The match might be great. Honestly, like the match might be a spectacle.
Yeah.
But it's just the build-up. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And how is Shane McMahon totally getting one over on Braun at this point?
Yeah, that's the point I'm trying to make. Like, it should be the other way around. If it makes so much more sense that Shane McMahon is the underdog being harassed by this monster, Braun Strowman, instead of now they're basically doing the very stereotypical make the big man look dumb gimmick.
Yeah. So what are they trying to make him face again? Like I don't understand. It's like Big Show all over again. They can't figure out. Oh, his heel, his face, his heel. Okay. I know this has nothing to do with anything, but Irvin says Jinder Mahal next Indian Stone Cold. What? He's just the next
Indian guy who's the wrestler lah for the Indian people. Why is you say an Indian Stone Cold though?
Yeah, does he drink? I don't know if he drinks. And he's Canadian as well, by the way, Jinder. But anyway, yeah, I think Irvin's trying to make a joke there. But yeah, so that's Raw. Can I also mention that Lashley? I kind of don't want him to lose to Drew now.
Yeah. Hey bro, what do you think of Lashley's new entrance?
Oh, wonderful. It's about
amazing, right?
Yeah, it's his time to shine, and I kind of hate it that he's probably gonna lose to Drew. To give Drew that, I feel like, hey, why not give Lashley a longer reign? And there are hints of them trying to turn him face as well. You know,
I'm conflicted between wanting Drew to get his WrestleMania moment that he lost, and also kind of accepting that the Drew hype train kind of has gone down a bit. Like. He's still great as a face. I still love him. I still support his story. It's just that he's not compelling right now.
Yeah.
Like we know what we're gonna get from Drew.
Yeah. Whereas Lashley is very compelling, especially with MVP as his mouthpiece as well.
You know what we want, right, bro?
What?
Keep Lashley as a champion, and then SummerSlam comes. Doom, 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 doom,
Brock versus Lashley.
It makes sense that Lashley becomes a face fighting against a returning heel Brock Lesnar.
That's right. Yes. And Lashley can say, you know, I've been here all this time, working my butt off every week after week, and you are just this part-timer that comes back, screw you, and then they clash. And then the fans will be behind Lashley because Lashley has been there every single week. Whereas, you know, Brock Lesnar, they can play up the whole, he's a part-timer thing.
Yeah, you're right, man. But I believe, right, and this is my opinion with fans, right? If Drew McIntyre were to win the title from Lashley, there might be boos, you know? I genuinely think people will boo that.
Ooh, actually, you are right. You're probably... So, well, this will be interesting because, like we mentioned as well, this will be the first time they have a proper audience back. So who knows? People could be booing the people that they think have been faces this whole time, but actually they don't like it. So yeah, this could be very interesting. This WrestleMania,
Very interesting. And also, with the news that, they're going to have tickets and all that, apparently, and don't quote me on this news, because I just read it a couple of days ago, they're trying to get almost like 40 to 50,000 people in the stadium.
That's what I heard, yes.
So for capacity is like 80,000, 90,000.
Yeah.
So it's actually, they're trying to get it almost half to like 60% full. And I mean, that on its own, if you look at it, like that number is a huge ass number, man. I think one of the biggest numbers since the pandemic. Definitely will cause an atmosphere, but I'm very scared. Like, definitely there might be news coming up post WrestleMania, that might be a breakout. And I don't want that to like derail a lot of the plans that they have going forward to include fans.
Yeah, and look, that is the worst kind of news that or thing that WWE could get, right? Like worst kind of publicity if all of a sudden there's a new cluster of COVID because of WrestleMania. Like, wow, can you imagine that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so scared, but I really want to see fans back. Especially when you watch the Super Bowl, it makes a hell of a difference.
Oh, of course it does. The vibe, everything. And at the end of the day, of all the sports, wrestling is a sport about crowd participation. So I don't know, man. I think it'll be so weird when Drew comes out and then he does the 1, 2, and then the Claymore shit, and then all the fans are like, nope, we don't want. We want Lashley.
Oh my god, can you imagine? Can you hear a Lashley chant? I can almost feel it, bro. I can smell it.
Lashley. Okay. That being said, we covered Fastlane, we covered 316, we covered a whole bunch of stuff, and we'll be back once again, of course, next week. And let's actually review Fastlane, and we are on the way to WrestleMania, bro.
Yeah, man. In the meantime, please keep liking and subscribing to our podcast, interacting with us on Instagram. We're trying to make our Instagram like a very entertaining place and platform, and putting out all the contents that we have and sharing interesting content there. Please join us again next week.
That's
as
right.
usual at this time.
And if you are in the YouTube live chat right now, thank you so much for being here, for chatting with us as well. We really, really appreciate it. If you're listening to this podcast post live broadcast, then hey, thank you so much for downloading the podcast on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you got your podcast from lah. And of course, you can always come chat with us on Facebook, on Instagram. It's Kick to the Gut. Be sure to follow us on YouTube as well, Kick to the Gut. All right, we'll be back next week with more wrestling. In the meantime, it is Mister Young.
And it's 4 in the building. Happy 316.